That's a lot more Rika than I remember actually seeing in the entire format. I'm begging 30% of you that have not smashed the ever-living crap out of that subscribe button. Smash it so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. Now, this is quite an interesting regional breakdown here. We have 2 Kashtira decks in the top cut, but who cares about that? The thing I care about here was we had 2 Rika decks make their way into top cut, and I swear that's a lot more Rika than I have seen in like the last amount of time. I don't know what has... I mean, I know the deck has been really quiet, but you know, we're kind of heading into that point where players want to try out more ideas. Players want to see what's starting to, you know, exist out here for the rest of the format. So you're seeing players test out these different ideas, and as things kind of expand on those ideas, more and more players are having more fun in terms of the format, and that's what you want to see here. We also had a lot of one-ups here. We had SCARECLAW. As we're heading on in to the next set, I think that we're going to continue to see some more interesting things with SCARECLAW. Honestly, Lightheart is one of the best cards in modern era Yu-Gi-Oh history, and trust me, the things that you'll be able to do with that in the future here is going to leave a lot to be desired. We also have one TRAPTRIX deck in Top Cut. TRAPTRIX has been doing quite a lot. I shouldn't be too surprised to see that, you know, we're still seeing good old success with this. We also had Runic winning this regional. Now, Runic getting a W is nothing too strange. I think we're going to continue to see that deck get off the ground, and more success will probably continue to be built around that. And then we had one Dragunity deck. Honestly, Dragunity has kind of been waking up a little bit more as of late. I'm not really too shocked to see that, but in terms of developments for the metagame, it is actually kind of interesting to see it took Dragunity this long to kind of do its thing. All right, we're going to pass on over to top deck profiles. Winning your regional here was none other than Runic playing triple copies of Heatwave. Now, we've seen Heatwave a very long time ago in this deck. I actually think it's kind of nice to see a little bit of a resurgence of something that we're a little bit more familiar with in terms of good old stuff. Of course, I mean, they're bulking down on triple Gamma Sealing here. So anything that your opponent's going to be doing, it's going to be an issue, or, you know, they set up like an Arise or try to zone lock you. You have access to the turtle right away in the main deck, so it's not going to be something that you're going to have to worry about. One of the worst things I can tell you, being a Runic player right now, is the fact that if they try to make it so that you can't play the game with any of their power cards, the good old good stuff, you get a free turtle. I'll see we're playing Firecracker for time. Oh man, talk about levels of degeneracy that you really don't want to see out here. But yeah, that's the general case. I think we'll continue to see success out here for this. Next up here is our first our first Rika deck getting second place. Now this is actually playing the small Thurion package in here. You gotta love Boreas with the Regulus combination. Sun Avalon's gonna be the little combo package in here. I will say, for the most part, having the chance to essentially start combo with, you know, full Sun Avalon, have the Rika stuff be extensions, and then have access to the Boreas with the Regulus for, you know, a level of interruption, usually ends up being pretty strong for this deck. Also, it's not like this deck doesn't have access to, you know, evenly matched, as you see here, because you can go second, board break your opponent, and then do full Sun Avalon combo. You also have triple talents in here as well. Whatever your opponent is going to be doing, this deck should be able to essentially clean it up and not deal with it. I also see that we are playing some interesting little plant monsters down in the side deck. That actually kind of opens up some very cute doors. So second place, very good. Top 4 here, we have another version of this deck. Now keep in mind, for this build, we've adjusted out some of the plant stuff in the side deck. You don't see the Naturia Rose Whip down there, which we'd seen previously. This build is still opting for evenly matches to kind of, once again, disrupt the opponent. You hit second, your whole aim is to clean up as much as possible here. I see that we are also still playing the Sun Avalon stuff. Sun Avalon for the free link climb really is free real estate for this deck. Also, I do want to give a note here to Droll and Lockbird. Droll has really taken up a lot of space in the format now, and I think it's going to continue to be a more mainstay trend here, as more and more people kind of look forward here and go, you know, is this something that we need to think about? Is this a considerable card for tech choices? And I think that it might actually end up being something that you might want to consider in the overall long haul for this. All right, next up here is our first Cashier deck. Wow, Cashier got bullied very, very hard down here. This build is opting for double Nibiru in the main deck, which I think is fine. Nibiru is still an incredibly powerful card for this deck. We are playing triple Book of Moon for defensive options. One thing I do see here that catches me off guard is we are playing triple copies of Solemn Judgment in this deck. It's going to actually give you some options for if your opponent's going to try to break your board with one of the more power cards, you can actually Judgment it and protect yourself. And I actually quite like that a lot. When you can produce more defensive options, usually for a deck like this, that's why we've seen things like Solemn Strike kind of show up in some of these variants, because more usual defensive options usually end up being the easier courses of action for you to generate usually the better course of win rate. So, all right, I see what we're doing here. Next up is our Dragunity list. Oh boy. So this is, we've stripped out the Dragon Link stuff. Everybody in the last video was like, oh my gosh, this is Dragon Link Dragunity. Oh, this is down to your bare roots here, all right? This is gonna be full synchro combo, all of the good stuff. You have both Levitins in here. You should be ending on a remotely strong board. One of the biggest things I can tell you from what we've seen out of Dragunity players as of late, if people don't really know how to handle the matchups for this deck, you'll be taking home some free wins. I will tell you, in terms of your overall combo ability, you should be doing that pretty easily. Looking at the rest of the extra deck here, you do have the Buster Lock in here. That's kind of cute, actually. What else? You have Geeters. You have actual defensive options in the books and the Book of Eclipses. Okay, this looks pretty much what I'd expect. Next up here is our SCARECLAW deck. Well, hello there, SCARECLAW Kashdira. I will tell you, for the most part, seeing SCARECLAW Kashdira actually kind of do its thing is kind of nice. It does kind of create a more little interesting thing in terms of synergy, but overall your SCARECLAW package for this deck is going to be your more real dominant approach. And honestly, your whole SCARECLAW package for this deck usually remains to be seen as one of the better go-to options as you kind of start. I mean, once again, Vice's Starfrost into the Link 1. Obviously, we're playing the Codebreaker stuff in here as well, which is actually kind of nice as well. But, alright, I see what we're doing for this deck. I love the ideas and success that players are bringing to this. I can't wait to see the next evolution of what this deck will actually be able to do here in the future. Next up here is our next Kashdira deck. Oh boy, this build is playing Sword of the Sacred Stars. Free level 7 draw power. Okay, I actually kind of like the idea of being able to filter out some of the more dead cards here so that you can, you know, start to take advantage and generate some better stuff. Outside of that, the Rite of Armesia package is kind of nice. I do like that. Infinite Permanences and things like that as well are going to be some of your stronger cards. I see we are playing Zero Boros in here, so on an offbeat chance that we can actually toggle up here into something a little bit stronger, we should be able to do so. Looking at the rest of this, you have a lot more extra deck options in here than I really thought I've seen in a while. Also, access to Ching Ying is kind of hilarious, actually. I don't think a lot of players are really going to consider that. Just, they're going to be like, I can't believe I just lost to a Ching Ying off of, you know, the bat. That's interesting. And then last list we have here is our TRAPTRIX list. Evenly matched in this deck for going second. Evenly matched, if you are trying to play TRAPTRIX right now, please play evenly matched. It gives you so much advantage. All right, it is that easy. All right, you do want to make sure that you can get as much filtering, as much, you know, power going as you can by going second with this. I see that we are playing Pawn of Desires in here for additional draw power. Yeah, there's a lot going on with this, and that's what I like to see here. So what do you guys think about this breakdown? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.